So it's time for that life update. Huzzah! Anyway, there's that rant for you. Hi friends, I'm Erin. This is Erin Go Live. This is kind of a do-over intro to this vlog because I'm filming this while I'm editing it, and I realized that it wasn't a very good introduction, particularly because I don't really tell you what the book is that I'm reading. I end up reading The Women later on by Kristin later on in the vlog, and I do talk about that, but I just kind of jumped into the middle of Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. So that's what I'm reading, the physical book that I'm reading in this story, or in this vlog rather. So Beautiful Ugly, I'm going to put it down because I'm blocking the light here. Beautiful Ugly, I keep going back and forth. What is the difference between mystery, suspense, and thriller? It's suspenseful, there's a mystery, it's a bit thrilling. It's not chilling, but it's a bit thrilling. I don't know what to call it. It's in that milieu. And I believe, Alice Feeney is, that type of author. This is the first thing I've read from her. But Beautiful Ugly is about this man. What's his name? I can never remember names. Grady Green is an author. He has a 2-book deal. He's delivered on the first book and did well with that first book. But in the time that we meet him, he has not been writing, and his wife goes missing. She's on her way home. She's talking to him on on speakerphone or whatever, Bluetooth in the car, and there's a woman lying on the road. And she's like narrating this to him. There's a woman lying on the road. She stops and goes out to check on her. And her husband's like, don't get out of the car, don't get out of the car. And she does. That's the last he hears from her. And she goes missing. She's gone. Never find a body. And a year later, he still isn't writing. He has to deliver that second book. He's, just trying to kind of evade his agent, who's trying to evade the publishing company. And the publisher decides, or the agent rather, offers up this cabin that she has. Former, now deceased, very prolific author client of hers had this cabin on this little island, and she says, why don't you go take this island, or go take this cabin on this island. It's really secluded and quiet, and you basically can just go do your writer's retreat in the woods and get this next book out. So he decides to do that, and from the get-go, as soon as he gets kind of to the ferry terminal to head out to this island, we start getting red flags. For example, only residents of the island are allowed to bring their cars. Visitors can't bring their cars. So he has to leave his car there and just take the terminal, and basically has to rely on the resources and the generosity of the people there on the island in order to get around or anything like that. And then these red flags kind of keep popping up. So that's basically the premise of the book, at least from my perspective. I don't know. The synopsis probably gives you more information, but I don't want to overdo it in that. So basically, little teaser here. There's a big life update coming up here in the vlog. Enjoy. So here's that update. That is Rocco. I'm filming things all sorts of out of order. I started editing this and I realized, I was like, oh yeah, I got these hiking boots, and I'll tell you why in the next clip, and then I didn't. So here that is. We are going, Benji and I are going on a 3 national park road trip. So we're in Northern California. So we live, kind of the best way to describe it, in the Sacramento area, where Sacramento is. We're halfway between Lake Tahoe and San Francisco. And then, so we're going to go down south. It's about 7.5, 8 hours down to Joshua Tree National Park. We're going to spend 2 days there. The first day will be Joshua Tree. The second day we'll go down a little bit to the Salton Sea and Painted Canyon. And then we'll be staying in Joshua Tree that whole time though. And then we're going to go up to the Grand Canyon. We'll stay the night that we travel, because it's like a 6-hour drive. We'll stay that night. Then we have about a 6-mile hike we found at the Grand Canyon. We'll do that, and then after that hike, I don't know, we'll look around, whatever there is to do, but we're not going to stay there another night. We're just going to go head up to Zion National Park in like southwestern Utah. We're going to spend a few days there, and we even got these like wader, like bib wader things and everything that we're going to use to go through the Narrows, because it's going to be like walking through water. So we really want to experience whatever we can, and in full knowledge, especially for the Utah part of the trip, that we're going in the off season. So there are going to be things that are probably going to be closed. We're going to have no access or limited access to certain things. But we also get to go at a very peaceful time where it's not going to be full of a bunch of people everywhere we go. So then from there, we're going to go up to Salt Lake City, spend a couple days there. We're going to do a little bit more culture there. We've got a hockey game the first day. The second day, we're going to see Dial M for Murder at a theater. And I'm waiting to hear back from my cousin. They live about 40 miles north, or 40 minutes north of Salt Lake City in Ogden. And so I'm hoping that we can catch up with them and they can meet for the first time. So maybe, I don't know, brunch, hanging out at their house, maybe meet at like a museum or something. There's this like dinosaur park museum thing, but they have a 9-year-old son, so I'm sure they've been there a bunch of times. But anyhow, that is that update. So that will be January 17th to the 26th. So super excited about that, and I'm wearing one of the many pieces of clothing that I ordered for the occasion. I just tend to buy myself a lot of things around this time of year. So whoa, Jesus, he scared me. Time to cut myself off. It is New Year's Eve, and I need to about noon on New Year's Eve, and I need to leave the new year, enter the new year. Leave this year, enter the new year on a much cleaner slate than I currently have in the old bedroom. So I've got my trusty dog. Where'd he go? My trusty helper, Stevie, right here. I actually just gave him a treat, a leftover treat from Thanksgiving. And so there's a big like wet mark from where he's been licking it. That wasn't very smart of me. But anyhow, he had a good time. So what I'm going to do is I basically just have stuff piled up. You know, I basically live here half time. Back and forth between my boyfriends and here. And so a lot of times it's like I'm here long enough to make the mess or to like do the laundry but not get it put away. And then just things pile up. And then it was, you know, the holidays and we had people over here and things got icky. So I need to take care of that. So this is what I'm dealing with right now. There's 2 laundry baskets there. There's some like, you know, pillows and blankets and sheets and stuff like that. It's not all clothes. But it needs to be taken care of. So I'm going to, I've got Sandy, Miss Ray Leads a Lot here, queued up on the TV. I'm going to set a 30-minute timer, and I'm going to work in 30-minute increments. I'm not going to touch my phone in between them. I'm going to actually leave my phone in the other room as soon as I stop you here, and I'll use my watch for the timer. Okay, we have a clean room. Huzzah! That's the book I'm reading. That is Alice Feeney, Beautiful Ugly, right? Is that what I'm reading? Yes. Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Yes, looks beautiful. I have a stack of books right here. This one, The White Horse King, is The Life of Alfred the Great by Benjamin Merkle. This is my book club book. Moonbound by Robin Sloan, I'm really excited about. I got that one for Christmas. I asked for it. I got The Women as well for Christmas. But this one, Moonbound, is a like a fantasy retelling or take on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Myth, however, history, whatever you want to call it, mythical history of ancient Japan. So now I'm going to, I think, get ready for the evening. I'm still waiting for my car. I don't know if I told you before. My car is being serviced. They Ubered me home, so I'm waiting for them to be done. It's like 3, what time is it? It's almost 4, and they said 4:35 or so for my car to be ready, and they will send me an Uber to pick me up. And then I'll go over to my boyfriend's house, and I think we're actually going to go to a meeting with some friends at like 8. And then we're just going to spend the night with his mom and his sister, hanging out, eating great food. They're Indian, and his mom makes amazing Indian food all the time. So I'm going to get dressed, and then I'm going to lay on the bed and read Beautiful Ugly. So it's time for that life update. I got engaged. Venture proposed on New Year's Eve. I'm wearing a ring pop. That's how I'm gonna like announce it on social media as well. Because as like our first kind of like married decision, we are not gonna spend a lot of money on essentially useless things that we don't really need, like an engagement ring. So we'll have wedding rings, but we don't need to spend thousands of dollars, when I bought a whole bag of ring pops for like $8. So hey, here's to good life decisions. So anyway, I'm gonna take this thing off because it is not meant for adult fingers. One sec. So the way it went down was we had gone to a meeting with some friends on New Year's Eve, and 12-step meeting with some friends, and on our way there, he said, hey, if you don't mind, on the way back, I need to stop off somewhere. I was like, okay, Alex, no problem, where? And he's just like being cagey and not telling me. So I was like, okay, so kind of suspicious right off the bat. So then we're on our way back home from the meeting, and he says, let's not go home, we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna go to the park. Now, this park that we were going to, now I'm getting more suspicious, especially because of the park we're going to. So the day that we got together, so we like, our first kiss was at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I had come over to watch a movie the night before, and we just ended up talking all night, and eventually around 2-3 a.m. we had our first kiss. And basically from our first kiss, it was like, it was on. Like, we are together, and we're literally talking like life plans by the afternoon. So we went to dinner that night, and I let him know we were heading back to his house, and I said, hey, I kind of didn't want to bring this up earlier because I didn't want to put a damper on things, but today's actually Sam's birthday. It would have been his 40th birthday. Sam was my late husband. And, it would have been his 40th birthday. And so he's kind of asking me a couple questions, and I start crying. So I said, hey, and I'm driving at this point. So he's like, hey, let's not go home. Keep going straight. We're going to go to a park. So we go to this park, and it was like dusk. It was still open. And he takes me over to the bleachers and just lets me talk, asks me questions, lets me cry, holds me. And then eventually the park guy came, and he had to close the gates, so we had to leave. So that's where he took me. And this is New Year's Eve, about 9:15 or so. And the gates should have been closed, but they were not. And so we parked, and he took my hand and led me out to the middle of the soccer field there. Totally dark outside, nobody around. And, of course, we're talking a little bit. And then he gets down on one knee and asked me to marry him. And I dropped down onto my knees and said yes. And we both kind of knelt there for a few minutes, just kind of, basking in the moment and all. And then eventually one of us said, like, let's stand up. The grass is wet. We both stand up with wet knees, but engaged. So there you have it. I'm currently pacing around his backyard right now, waiting for him to get home from work. I left my purse here, and I needed gas, and so I was like, all right, so I just ended up here earlier than normal. So I'm gonna go read while I wait for him to come home, and yeah, I'll probably be wearing the same thing the next time you see me, because this clip right here is going to be out of order to regular chronology. So anyway, back to regular reading programming. It's Sunday morning, January 5th. Out on the couch reading Beautiful Ugly. I'm sorry, little Polaroid just fell out of my book. Benji's sister took that. So I believe the last thing you would have seen would have been a significant life update. So moving on from that, trying to get some reading time in here before we go to church. I'm about to, I set a timer for 15 minutes. I'm gonna take a shower, so I have 15 minutes to read before it's time to get ready. But reaching a point in the book where, I'd already said, like, these just kind of like eerie things are happening. There's like red flags popping up every like here and there. And there's been a couple allusions to, including just now, allusions to, is he going to be able to leave the island? So that's where I am now. I just finished up a chapter. I'm hoping I can get one more chapter in before I have to get up and get ready. We're having a bit of a different day today. It's Monday, January 6th. I should be at work right now. It's, I don't know, like 9 something. But, oh, right on cue. This guy started yelping. Like, he's okay. But last night I was at Benji's house, and my mom called me, something's wrong with Stevie, and he just keeps kind of randomly yelping in pain. So we came home and we're checking him out, and you just, pushing on his tummy, feeling his, his toes, the pads of his paws, all around. We can't find anything specific that's hurting him, but he will yelp. Sometimes when you touch him, sometimes when he moves, sometimes just completely at rest, like what just happened. So I took him into the emergency vet. Of course, it was Sunday evening. Emergency vet, and what it seems like, what we hope that it is he actually had too much fun playing with his soon-to-be brother, Rocco, and he got what's called limber tail, which is basically a sprained tail, like the base of the tail getting sprained. So hopefully that's it, and it's inflammation and muscle spasms that he's experiencing. And so she gave him an NSAID and a muscle relaxer. So I'm hoping that after we get like a couple more rounds of that, so we had last night a dose and then this morning a dose, hopefully that's going to do the trick and it's nothing more than that. The other possibility would that it would be something with his back or neck, something neurological, in which case basically we'll pursue that, looking into that if he doesn't get better with the meds that he was just given. So hopefully he starts feeling better and it's just muscular. In the meantime, I didn't go to work because he's been super clingy and just, I don't want to leave him. Less that I'm worried something's going to happen, although that still would make me feel comfortable because there's like, is it something neurological is still kind of in the back of my mind, but more because it's like my baby's sick, my baby's hurt and he needs his mama. So yeah, home from work today. Don't want to have missed work, but I would just feel terrible and be thinking about him all day that if I had gone. So opportunity, right, for a good reading day. So far I've just been screwing around. I had to yawn. I also have, so far today I've just been screwing around mostly on my phone, of course. I do have some, I was just looking into, I have some deliveries coming today, so I'm very excited about that. And yeah, just kind of I just tend to do a lot of shopping for myself around this time of year. So some of those orders are coming in today. So maybe I'll show you a little bit of basically my style is like outdoorsy comfort, like athletic outdoorsy comfort. And that's what's coming today. But for now, I'm going to read Beautiful Ugly. Okay, buddy? What are you doing? You all right? Okay. Say bye. See you later. So I finally actually filmed the life update portion of the video, which I introduced like a little while ago. So I'm wearing the same thing in this clip as I was in that clip because I just filmed it 2 minutes ago. Anyhow, so I'm at my fiance's house, I can say that now, and waiting for him to get home from work. And I have some books to read. So, well, first of all, I don't have a copy of The Women here, but I've been listening to the audiobook, and really great audiobook on Audible. And like the quality of the audiobook is very good, very listenable. And the story is fantastic. I don't know. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. Like, it's well known that it's a great book, right? I remembered, so I think at the beginning of this video, I was talking about how I have a hard time when something is like really popular, really hyped. I just have a hard time actually wanting to engage with whatever that is. I remembered the second reason. Oh, or maybe like the other reason. Yeah, the real reason that I didn't want to read this book. And nothing against the book at all. It's still a fantastic book that I'm enjoying. But so it's about Frankie, our main character, becomes an army nurse and does 2 tours in Vietnam. And then she comes home. And when she comes home, she finds out very immediately and unpleasantly how Vietnam vets are being received when they come home. And so we see that portion of it, and then we see her personal struggles with dealing with the atrocities of war that she saw. Not only that, like the PTSD that she has, which wasn't even, in the DSM at the time. And, formerly in like Korea and World War II, they call it shell shocked, which eventually, became to be known as PTSD. But also, nobody believes her that she's a Vietnam vet. Everyone's like, women weren't in Vietnam. And she's like, yes, I was. And even if she explains to them that she was in the Army Nursing Corps, they're like, but you're not a combat vet. You're not a combat vet. As if, I'm not going to go into gory details. That's in the book, but I don't want, if somebody, I don't know, I don't want you to throw up or pass out if I talk about gory details. But the kinds of things that she saw in the trauma room, in Vietnam were horrendous and certainly would cause PTSD. So that part is really difficult for me. Particularly the reception. The coming home reception is the part that just pisses me off to no end. And, if you, I do my best to not watch anything with, now I'm blanking on her name. What's her name? Hanoi Jane. What's her name? Jane? Hang on, I have to check. Jane Fonda. I kept wanting to say Jane Seymour. Yeah, if you don't know about Hanoi Jane, look up Hanoi Jane or Jane Fonda and Vietnam or whatever, and you can find out what a terrible person she actually is. So I do my best not to watch media with her in it. Sometimes it can't be avoided, but yeah, really, really pisses me off. And also that maybe it isn't such a well-known thing like Tot. Benji, my fiance, didn't even know that was a thing, that's how, but he grew up here. I mean, he was born in India, but he's been here since he was 2. He grew up in the American schooling system, and that's something he didn't know. Just like I didn't know about Japanese internment, which happened literally 100 miles from where I've grown up. And the only reason that I knew about it, even in college, was probably because I had a Japanese-American teacher for American history. So, anyway, there's that rant for you. I'm almost done. I'm almost done with the women, and it's going great, despite Jane Fonda. So I am continuing on with Beautiful Ugly. I'm like 2/3 of the way through at this point, and the tension is building. Is he crazy? He keeps thinking he's seeing his dead wife. He just found out this terrible thing that had happened on the island, unrelated to his wife, or I don't know. We think it's unrelated to his wife. You never know in a story like this. And then something weird has just happened or is in the middle of happening where I am. So I don't want to go into details about it. 1, I don't really know what's going on, and 2, I don't want to give spoilers. So I'm going to get back into this and see how much I can read before the boy gets home. What? Nearing the end of Beautiful Ugly, maybe like 30 pages or something to go, and it's like bombshell after bombshell. It's so good. Adding some fun skincare to my bedhead don't care hair. I just finished Beautiful Ugly. So good. Without like a specific definition or actually looking it up, I'm gonna call it suspense. It's not like a thriller in that we're like on the edge of our seats waiting for someone to get hacked to death or something. I guess that's horror, but I don't know. There's a mystery. It's quite suspenseful. It's suspenseful, and there are twists. I don't know if that makes it more suspense or thriller. Twists and turns. Essentially, the book is about what goes wrong with a couple, secrets, and personal ambition, love, them fighting each other, right? Those elements fighting each other. Lots of really great kind of like one-liners in there. I feel like I found one recently, so hang on. Okay, the most recent line I underlined is, "My sorrow is a ledge nobody can talk me down from, and I prefer to fall alone." Like, it's so good. And so it's filled with those. This is what the cover looks like, by the way. I'm normally showing it without the dust jacket. So there we go. Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up next, but I'm gonna read something. I'm gonna start something. But that's the end of Beautiful Ugly. Highly recommend. Finally, to end the vlog, I also finished The Women yesterday. I ended up giving, so Beautiful Ugly, I gave 4, started to drop my phone. Beautiful Ugly, I ended up giving 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. Really great reading experience. I just don't know how sticky it's going to be just based on the type of book that it was. Otherwise, I would say reading enjoyment like 4.5, but ultimately, yeah, I'm gonna go more conservatively with a 4. And with The Women, I'm gonna go with a 4.5. And the only reason it's not getting a 5 is, for me, a 5 is that book that I can't put down, I can't stop thinking about, I resent the rest of life, my other responsibilities, because all I want to do is read that book. So that wasn't this for me, but I was compelled to read. I was invested in the story, in the character. There were ups and downs. It didn't shy away from the dark side of life, and particularly the Vietnam War, and with the veterans' experience, and especially with the women veterans' experience when they came home. Not just discrimination, but like dismissal, and which affected their ability to get the care that they really needed. It was very affecting. And that was part of the reason that I hadn't picked it up before, because I knew what a sensitive topic that is for me and how difficult it was going to be to read about it. Highly, highly recommend. Trigger warnings, of course. We'll look up the trigger warnings, especially if, you or someone you love has PTSD or was in the Vietnam War. I didn't know how it was going to end. I didn't know how I wanted it to end, what that satisfactory ending was going to be, but she made it there. I was very satisfied with the ending, and yeah, I had a great time with it. So I highly recommend The Women. Despite its popularity, it does live up to the hype. And that's gonna do it for this vlog. That's gonna do it for this vlog. Thank you for watching. Remember, every day is a great day for a great day, no matter what.